What happens when a cheerful morning show appearance suddenly detonates into the most explosive moment on live TV this year? Buckle up, because you're about to see exactly how it unfolded. And trust me, you won't believe it. Picture this: the Today Show studio. Cameras rolling, lights perfect. The vibe set for what should have been a warm, feel-good interview. Kylie Kelce, wife of Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelce, sitting across from the hosts, expecting the usual softball questions about family life, motherhood, and game day traditions. But in a split second, it all changed. Jenna Bush Hager leaned in with a practiced smile, the kind that hides sharp edges. "Kylie, we've been hearing some interesting rumors about your family's financial decisions lately. Some say you and Jason might be living beyond your means with all these recent purchases." The air went out of the room. Kylie's expression hardened instantly, the friendly, approachable tone gone. "I'm sorry," she said slowly. "What exactly are you referring to?" Jenna didn't flinch. "Well, sources close to your family have raised concerns. The new house, the cars, the lifestyle changes since Jason's contract extension. Some people wonder if you're being responsible with your platform and influence." The silence was deafening. Even the hum of the cameras seemed louder. Kylie leaned back, her jaw tightening. "Sources close to my family?" she repeated. "And who exactly would those sources be?" Hoda tried to smooth things over. "Kylie, I think what Jenna's trying to say is that with great success comes great responsibility. People look up to you and Jason as role models, but Kylie wasn't letting it slide. No, Hoda, that's not what she said. She just accused me of being financially irresponsible on national television based on unnamed sources. That's not a conversation about role models. That's an accusation." The tension was unbearable now. Crew members shifted nervously behind the cameras. The interview had gone off the rails. Jenna doubled down. "We're not making accusations, Kylie. We're addressing what people are talking about. Your social media shows a very luxurious lifestyle, and some fans worry about the message that sends." Kylie's voice sharpened. "My social media shows my life, my family, my children, the moments that matter to us. Jason has worked his entire career to provide for us. I've built my own career too. Since when did sharing joy and milestones become a crime?" Another host chimed in, almost timidly. "Don't you think there's a responsibility that comes with your platform? Young people look up to you. Constant displays of wealth might send the wrong message." That was the breaking point. Kylie's composure cracked, her eyes blazing. "Displays of wealth? Are you serious right now? I post photos of my kids' birthdays, family dinners, my husband playing the sport he's dedicated his life to. If that's your definition of flaunting wealth, then maybe the problem isn't with me. It's with the way you're choosing to see it." The atmosphere was electric. Every viewer at home could feel it. This wasn't morning TV anymore. This was a showdown. And then came Jenna's fatal misstep. "Kylie, all we're saying is maybe some reflection on your public image would be beneficial. Your husband is a public figure. That means your family is too. And with that comes scrutiny." Kylie's reply? "We'll just say it left the studio and the internet absolutely stunned." Kylie rose from her chair, her mic still clipped to her blouse, her voice ringing out clear. "Scrutiny is one thing. This?" She swept her hand toward the host's table. "This is something else entirely. You invited me here under false pretenses, ambushed me with accusations from unnamed sources, and now you're lecturing me about my public image." The hosts exchanged uneasy glances. The interview was slipping beyond their control. Kylie pressed on, her tone sharp but measured. "I came here in good faith, to talk about my family, maybe highlight some of the charitable work Jason and I are passionate about. Instead, I'm sitting here being treated like I'm on trial for the crime of being successful." Hoda tried to step in, voice calm, almost pleading. "Kylie, please, let's take a step back. Nobody's putting you on trial. Kylie's eyes locked on her. Aren't you, though? You've questioned my finances, my social media, my role as a mother and a role model, all based on anonymous whispers. If that isn't a trial, then what is it? The silence stretched. Cameras whirred. Crew members behind the set stood frozen. Jenna, face tight under the studio lights, finally broke. Upset or not, these are legitimate questions. Our viewers deserve answers. We have a responsibility to ask the tough questions. Kylie's laugh was sharp, bitter. Your responsibility to your viewers? What about your responsibility to your guests? What about basic journalistic integrity? Did you really think I wouldn't notice you've turned what was supposed to be a conversation into an interrogation? The other hosts sat rigid, unsure if they should intervene. In the control room, producers whispered frantically, "Cut to commercial? Let it play?" No one dared move. Hoda tried again, carefully. "We're not interrogating anyone. We're having a conversation." Kylie's eyes flashed. A conversation? In a real conversation, both parties are treated with respect. In a real conversation, one side doesn't come armed with accusations and hide behind unnamed sources. Let's be honest. You decided before I ever walked in here what story you wanted to tell. This wasn't an interview. It was an ambush. You thought it would make good television. Jenna shook her head. That's not true. Kylie cut her off. Isn't it? You had every intention of questioning my character and dragging my family into it. Don't act surprised now that I won't just sit here and smile through it. Her voice grew stronger, steadier, every word slicing through the tension. The truth is, the real problem is you can't stand to see a woman who's comfortable with her success. You can't stand to see someone who refuses to apologize for working hard and enjoying the results. Jenna's face flushed crimson. That's not what this is about at all. Then what is it about, Jenna? Kylie shot back. Please, enlighten me. Because from where I'm standing, it looks a lot like you decided that since my husband plays football and our family has been blessed, that makes us fair game for whatever narrative you want to spin. Another host jumped in, desperate to redirect. Maybe we can move on to your charitable work. Kylie turned on her. Oh, now you want to talk about charity. After 10 minutes of tearing me down? After suggesting that posting pictures of my family somehow makes me irresponsible? Now you want to pivot? She turned directly to the camera, her voice steady, her gaze unwavering. Let me tell you something. Jason works hard. I work hard. We love our family. We support our community. We're grateful for every blessing we've received. If that somehow makes us targets for ambush journalism, then maybe that says more about the state of the media today than it does about us. The studio went silent. The hosts stared down at their notes. Behind the cameras, producers looked stricken. And the audience at home? They had just witnessed live television history. This was spiraling completely out of control, and there was no playbook for how to contain it. Jenna, realizing she had lit the match that set this blaze, tried to salvage what little ground remained. Kylie, I think there's been some misunderstanding. We're not trying to attack you or your family. Kylie turned, fixing Jenna with a stare so cold it could freeze water. A misunderstanding? Really? Her voice was low, deliberate. Tell me something, Jenna. When you were preparing for this interview, did you plan to ask me about my children? About Jason's career? About anything positive at all? Jenna hesitated, just long enough for the answer to be obvious. Kylie's lips curved into the faintest, bitterest smile. I thought so. She didn't raise her voice, but somehow the quiet cut sharper than any shout. You planned this whole thing as a hit piece dressed up as an interview. Well, congratulations. You got your dramatic television moment. Her hands moved to her microphone, unfastening it slowly, deliberately, every motion controlled. But you won't get it at my expense anymore. Hoda leaned forward, her voice urgent, pleading. Kylie, please, let's just take a deep breath. Maybe we can start over. Kylie glanced at her with something closer to pity than anger. Start over? Hoda? You can't unring a bell. You can't take back the accusations. You can't take back the ambush. And you certainly can't take back the disrespect. Some things, once done, can't be undone. The mic came free with a soft snap. Kylie set it carefully on the table beside her chair. The gesture was small, almost gentle, but in that silence, it felt monumental. A line crossed, a point of no return. The studio was silent. Cameras whirred. Producers whispered frantically in the control room, but no one dared cut away. Kylie stood, scanning the hosts one by one. When she finally spoke, her words were calm, steady, and devastating. You know what's really sad? I respected this show. I grew up watching the Today Show with my grandmother. She would have been horrified to see what you've turned it into. Jenna's face flushed red under the lights. Her voice cracked as she tried to seize back control. Kylie, I think you're overreacting. We ask tough questions of all our guests. That's what journalism is. Kylie let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Journalism? Is that what you're calling this? She leaned in, her voice slicing like glass. Real journalism is research, fact-checking, giving people a chance to respond before you ambush them on live television. What you did today isn't journalism. She straightened, eyes blazing. It's tabloid television in morning show clothing. The other hosts sat frozen, mute, their faces pale. They were supposed to be in control. Instead, they were spectators, watching as Kylie dismantled the stage they'd built around her. Morning show guests were supposed to be polite, compliant, easy to manage. They weren't supposed to fight back. And another thing, Kylie continued, her confidence solidifying with each word. You sit here quoting unnamed sources like they're gospel. Well, let me give you a named source. Me, Kylie Kelce. On the record. My family's finances are none of your business. But since you dragged them into this, let me make it plain. We're fine. We pay our bills. We pay our taxes. We give to charity. And we don't owe anyone an explanation for how we choose to live our lives. She let the words hang in the air, heavy and final, before twisting the knife. And here's what really gets me. You sit in this studio, pulling in millions a year, and you have the nerve to question if I'm being responsible with money. The irony is almost funny. Hoda leaned forward, desperate. Kylie, maybe we can agree this started on the wrong foot. Can we find a way to move forward constructively? Kylie turned to her, and for the first time her anger gave way to something else. Disappointment. Hoda, I honestly thought you were better than this. I really did. But you sat there while your colleague ambushed me with gossip and rumors. And now you want to talk about moving forward constructively? Where was that attitude when basic fairness was on the line? The weight of the accusation landed. Hoda's lips parted as if to respond, but nothing came. Kylie straightened. You want to know what moving forward constructively looks like? It looks like me walking out with my dignity intact, instead of sitting here pretending this circus is normal. She stepped toward the edge of the set, then turned back, her voice cutting through the silence. And just so we're clear, this isn't about me being unable to handle criticism. I can handle criticism just fine. What I won't handle is being disrespected, ambushed, and treated like my family's success is something I should apologize for. You decided who I was before I even walked in here. Jenna, finally grasping the magnitude of what was happening, scrambled to stop her. Kylie, we never intended to make you feel ambushed. Kylie stopped in her tracks. Slowly she turned, her glare sharp enough to cut glass. You never intended to make me feel ambushed? Then what exactly was your intention, Jenna? You invited me here under false pretenses. You armed yourself with a list of accusations from faceless whispers, and then you acted shocked when I didn't just sit here and take it. Don't talk to me about intention. Your actions already told the whole story. She shook her head. Disappointment etched deep into her expression. This, right here, is why people don't trust the media anymore. And after today, I can't say I blame them. With that, Kylie Kelce turned and walked off the Today Show set. The hosts sat frozen, their faces pale. The studio eerily silent. The cameras stayed locked on the empty chair she'd left behind, capturing every raw second. For the audience at home, it was unforgettable. A moment that would replay endlessly across social media. Kylie Kelce had just proven, on live television, what happens when kindness is mistaken for weakness, and the result was pure, unfiltered television history.